In a deeply divided nation, the Supreme Court stands as the final word on our laws and rights. When all 9 justices agree, their decision carries extraordinary weight, signaling that a legal principle is so fundamental, it transcends politics. A unanimous ruling isn't just a legal victory, it's a powerful affirmation of our shared values and the rule of law. These rare decisions provide clarity and stability, reminding officials that their authority has limits and that constitutional rights are not negotiable. In times of political polarization, a 9-0 decision acts as a crucial guardrail, protecting individual liberties from government overreach. Understanding these rulings is essential. They have real-world consequences for our daily lives and freedoms. By examining recent landmark cases, we see how a united court preserves the core principles that define our nation. Let's explore how these unanimous decisions protect the rights of all Americans. One recent unanimous decision, NRA vs. Vulo, centered on the First Amendment's guarantee of free speech. After a tragic school shooting, a New York regulator pressured banks and insurers to cut ties with the NRA, aiming to silence its advocacy. The Supreme Court ruled 9-0 that government officials cannot use their power to coerce private entities into suppressing speech. Justice Sotomayor wrote that while officials can express opinions, they cannot intimidate others into silencing viewpoints they dislike. The decision reaffirmed, the government cannot do indirectly what it is forbidden from doing directly. This wasn't about protecting the NRA specifically, but about safeguarding everyone's right to speak freely, no matter how controversial the viewpoint. The ruling ensures the government can't use its power to selectively silence voices it opposes. The impact of NRA vs. Vulo goes far beyond the NRA. It protects all advocacy groups, from environmentalists to civil rights activists. Imagine if officials could pressure donors or banks to cut off groups they disagree with. The Vulo ruling makes clear that's unconstitutional. In today's world, even the hint of government pressure can chill free expression, as seen when broadcasters pulled a show after political threats. The Supreme Court's decision gives media, advocacy groups, and citizens a clear legal shield against such intimidation. For Americans, this means the news you watch and the causes you support are better protected from government interference. The First Amendment isn't just for popular speech, it's especially for speech that challenges the status quo. The court's united front sends a strong message. Free speech is a cornerstone of American liberty. This decision is a victory for open, robust public debate. Another landmark 9-0 decision, Catholic Charities Bureau vs. Wisconsin, focused on religious liberty. Catholic Charities, a faith-based group serving all in need, sought an exemption from state unemployment taxes, an exemption usually granted to religious organizations. Wisconsin argued the charity wasn't religious enough because its work served the public, not just its faith. The Supreme Court unanimously rejected this, ruling the government can't judge how a religious group lives out its faith. For many, serving others is a core part of their religious mission, not separate from it. The decision affirms that faith-based groups don't have to shed their religious identity to serve the public. It ensures government can't penalize organizations for living out their beliefs. The Catholic Charities decision affects thousands of faith-based organizations, hospitals, shelters, schools, serving millions nationwide. These groups provide a vital safety net, and the ruling protects them from being forced to choose between their faith and their mission. Most Americans agree. Religious organizations should be as eligible for public benefits as secular ones. The court's decision reflects this common-sense view and ensures faith-based charities can continue their essential work. In Wisconsin, even after the Supreme Court's ruling, state officials tried to block the exemption, but the state's highest court ultimately sided with Catholic Charities. This outcome secures protections for all faith-based groups in the state. For everyday Americans, it means essential services from these organizations are more secure. The ruling affirms that serving others as an expression of faith is a protected part of American life. The Supreme Court is set to rule on another major issue, whether the president can unilaterally impose trade tariffs by declaring a national emergency. This practice, used by former President Trump, bypassed Congress's exclusive power to tax and regulate commerce. Lower courts have already ruled these actions invalid, and legal experts expect a 9-0 Supreme Court decision to follow. The Constitution gives Congress, not the president, the authority to impose taxes and tariffs. The court's recent trend is to rein in executive power, insisting that major policy decisions require clear congressional approval. A unanimous decision would reaffirm that presidents can't create taxes or laws by fiat. For Americans, This could mean lower prices on imports and a stronger balance of power in Washington. It ensures that critical economic decisions remain with the people's elected representatives. Unanimous Supreme Court decisions are more than legal rulings. They're reminders of the principles that unite us. Cases like NRA versus VULO, Catholic Charities versus Wisconsin, and the coming tariff decision show a court committed to upholding free speech, religious liberty, and the separation of powers. These aren't partisan issues, they're the foundation of our republic. Each ruling limits government power and protects individual liberty, benefiting everyone. When all 9 justices agree, it strengthens public trust in the judiciary and the rule of law. Even in a divided country, we can find common ground on the core values enshrined in our Constitution. A united Supreme Court ensures these rights remain secure for all Americans.